Alright everyone, we're gonna play, I've heard this before, with one of Bill Clinton's former advisors begging Hillary Clinton, no Hillary, no Hydrogen Hill, please don't run in 2020. A third of Democrats really want her to, or thereabouts. Joe Biden is up in there. The fact that Joe Biden is so old that he's incapable of running means that a lot of his supporters, I think they would end up supporting Hillary Clinton. I think she'll end up, if she were to run, I think she'd get at least a quarter of the people voting for her. I honestly believe that. I think that there are that many Democrats that are in denial. They're like, it was her turn, #resist, we must break the glass ceiling. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, Hillary Clinton's not going to be the one to do it. I'll bet you anything it'll be a Republican female that becomes the first Republican president. Or a third party. I can almost guarantee it won't be a Democrat because of the structure of wedge issues they've chosen. Because they wouldn't be gaining any additional votes by fielding a female, but the Republicans would. A lot of extra votes. Unless it was someone like Sarah Palin. It's like, Sarah Palin wanted to break the vice president glass ceiling. Why did America deny that to her? Because Sarah Palin was fucking crazy, and the first vice president who's female shouldn't be fucking crazy. The same is true about Hillary Clinton. I would definitely advise her not to run. She'd lose. But I think that I would love it if she did. I hope that she ignores common sense. I hope she ignores polling. I hope she ignores Bubba Bill and Bubba Bill's advisors, her daughter, and her former staff. I hope she ignores several of her campaign managers that have come out and criticized her style of campaigning and her holier-than-thou attitude. I hope she ignores the fact that increasingly Americans see her less favorably than they even see Congress, which is quite a stretch. It's difficult to accomplish that. It's very difficult to be that villainous. I hope she ignores everyone and runs anyway. And I hope that corporations that are slimy fund her campaign, and she knocks out a bunch of other upstart Democrats, gets nominated, and loses every state. That's what I hope. Because the stress on the Democratic Party would be so great that no one like Hillary Clinton would ever run in there again. Nobody like Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, the neoliberals, the slimy, corrupt corporate suckers, none of these people would be able to gain any traction for the next 20, 30 years. We would have a reprieve. The Republicans would be fielding people who are populistic, maybe nativistic. You might get the occasional evangelical, although not particularly likely. The Democrats would hopefully go back to being a working-class business Dem party, which means they'd finally have good ideas. And they wouldn't be focusing on wedge issues that are ripping the country apart. And as though they were trying to start a civil war. By the way, in polling, they were like, well, a third of Americans think another civil war will happen soon. I'm one of those that would have said, no, I don't expect that. But there is a lot more social alienation right now because of the paradigm shift. And the Democrats are promulgating it, hoping to score points for the elections, and they're largely losing. It's fallen flat on immigration. They're the underdogs. They don't seem to understand this. They talk to their echo chambers. It's like you talk to these people who have a hammer and sickle or a resist or never Trump or whatever, Bernie 2020 in their fucking username on Twitter or whatever, or a background that shows Hillary Clinton's smiling face on YouTube. You try to talk to them, they're in denial. They think that they speak for a majority. Well, you don't speak for a majority. You don't even, in some cases, for some of these issues, you don't even speak for a sizable minority of the population. You speak for a tiny fringe group. Oh, well, we should punch Nazis. I agree with this. Well, then you speak for maybe 5-10% of the U.S. population. You do realize that, right? And not a well-armed segment of the population. Please keep that in mind. Bill Clinton's former advisor is absolutely right. She'd be nuts to run. But she is nuts! So who can say? I still say there's only like a 5-10% chance that she tries. If she does, she's got less than a 50-50 chance of being nominated. But on the off chance that it's actually possible that Clinton is once again going to wheeze and gasp and walk with a cane up to the podium and say, yes, I will be the Democratic nominee. Finally, we can #resist, victory is won. I hope so, because it'd be funny. It'd be amusing. It would be like comedy. It'd be like comedy. Trump couldn't even believe his good luck if she becomes his opponent. Or Biden, for that matter. Or half the other people that appear on these lists. Oprah Winfrey. That would be hilarious. It'd be wonderful. It would be him curb-stomping his opposition. Kamala Harris, oh my goodness. It'd be hilarious to see her try to run a presidential campaign. It'd be fucking hilarious. The Democrats they're not living in the real world. The Clintonian Democrats, that is. The far left is more in reality, and the far left thinks that we should censor online opinions some more because YouTube has a right-wing slant or something. So these people are a little bit out to lunch, but they still sound more sane than Clinton. people around her saying, well, it sounds a lot like she's going to run in 2020. I still really, really doubt that. I really, really doubt that even her, that she is crazy enough to try. Like, the ambition is definitely there. She wants to be president. She sees herself as she's owed the presidency. She should have somebody putting a crown on her head, and she should pretend to reject it like a Caesar or something. She wants it. She thinks she deserves it. She thinks that Russians robbed her of it the last time and feels perpetually angered by it. But is she crazy enough to think she can actually win in trying to accomplish that? And who's your running mate going to be, by the way? You chose Tim Kaine the last time around. I don't think he's on the short list anymore. It'd be funny to see Tim Kaine try to run. Technically speaking, in the general parlance of presidential politics, he'd have a pretty good shot, a pretty good claim to the title of presidential nominee for the Democrats. He'd be like, hey, I was the running mate of the last person around. You know, I'm not insane, although he is. I can do it. Why don't you put me forward? He'd get like 1% of the vote. He'd be the next Martin O'Malley. He'd be a single-issue candidate who very quickly realizes he's not going to be nominated and says, okay, I'm going to show up for the next couple debates and say the same thing in different ways over and over to inject it into the race in hopes of getting a cabinet position that I really fulfill. That's essentially what they do. That's what all these people do. You saw this among the Republicans. Why do you think Ben Carson got a position? He was the sleepy guy up on stage. He's the likable guy that you put in HUD. You put him in a throwaway cabinet position, in other words. You give him an advisory position. What about Chris Christie? When Chris Christie was dragged up there, he just wanted the limelight a couple times. He wanted to sit up there looking very astute and sub-presidential on the stage behind Trump. And then Trump got tired of it, told him to get on a plane and go home. Now Chris Christie's been shafted and nobody likes him anymore. He's still over there in New Jersey like a black hole gobbling up all the sunlight. He doesn't have to be on the beach to cast a shadow. He can be 2 or 3 blocks over. You know, I know Chris Christie's fat jokes are low-hanging fruit, but it's still funny. You think about it like Marco Rubio. Well, he gets a little bit of a seat at the table. Ted Cruz. They get to mill about and rub elbows with the president now because they were, technically viable contenders. And then you have people, of course, that drop off the face of the earth. Who's heard of Carly Fiorina lately? Huh? What have you heard from her lately? But fuck nothing. Never going to be in politics again. No, I think the first female president will be a Republican. That's number 1. I think California goes red before Texas goes blue. That's number 2. Number 3, Hillary Clinton will never be the president of the United States. Simply, at this point, she's run and lost twice. It's impossible. She's too old to start her journey again. She's too sick. She's too weak to campaign properly, and she's too fucking stubborn. She hasn't changed at all since the 1970s. What makes you think she's going to change now and be able to counter Trump's strategy? She wouldn't. Even though she knows what his strategy fundamentally will be, she knows generally, well, he's going to blindside me. He's going to try to gobble up the news cycle. He's going to, by saying off-the-wall things. He's going to be pretending to be a hardliner more than he is, dog whistling to his core fans while actually assuaging the more centrist Republicans. But she's not going to be able to counter that. He's going to be the meme president, and once again, she'll be boring because she relies on focus groups, like a typical 90s-era politician, this slicked-back, smoothed down, but ultimately corrupt politician thing. That died in the 1990s into the 2000s. Even W sort of departed from that. He was just the chucklehead. He was the clown-in-chief. Trump knows how to run rings around somebody like Hillary Clinton. It'll be interesting to see then who else the Democrats put before him. I can't wait to see who the candidate is that'll be running against him. They'll probably lose, and it'll be fucking funny when it happens. That's about all. Peace out.